There is a quote that goes, "If your dreams do not scare you, they are not big enough." You should be ambitious and you must have big dreams. But there is a problem. You are lazy. The clock is ticking and leaving you behind. The world is moving on without you. If this goes on like this, you will end up attaining none of your dreams. Ultimately, you will live a life full of regrets. Or, in Fyodor Dostoevsky's words, it is the sorrow of seeing others find love, success, and happiness, while you remain stuck, trapped in a life that feels stagnant and empty. And in that sorrow, there is a bitterness, a resentment, a sense of unfairness that poisons your heart, making it impossible to find joy in small things, in the simple pleasures of life. But don't worry, I have a solution for you. Start by shifting your identity. James Clear in Atomic Habits emphasizes that our behaviors are deeply tied to our sense of identity. If you see yourself as lazy, you'll continue to act in ways that align with that self-image. However, if you redefine your identity as someone who is proactive and action-oriented, even small steps will begin to reinforce this new identity, leading to lasting change. Let me illustrate this with an example. Imagine you're a smoker who has decided to quit. Now, suppose a friend offers you a cigarette. How would you respond? Would you say, "I don't smoke anymore," or "I'm not a smoker"? The difference between these two statements is profound. Saying, "I don't smoke anymore," suggests that smoking is still part of your identity. It's something you used to do, but it lingers in how you see yourself. On the other hand, declaring, "I'm not a smoker," reflects a complete shift in your identity. You've moved beyond the label and no longer associate yourself with that behavior. The same principle applies to overcoming laziness. To create lasting change, you must first change how you see yourself. From this moment forward, stop identifying yourself as someone who is lazy. Instead, embrace the identity of an action-oriented person, someone who takes initiative, no matter how small the steps may seem. By aligning your actions with this new identity, you'll begin to build habits that reinforce the belief that you are, indeed, a person who gets things done. Understand the root of your laziness. Laziness is often a symptom, not the problem. It can stem from fear of failure, perfectionism, lack of clarity, or even burnout. Imagine a writer who dreams of penning a novel but never starts. The problem isn't laziness, it's fear. Fear that the book won't be perfect, fear of criticism. By reframing the task, "I'm not writing a novel, I'm writing one paragraph," the writer can bypass the fear and take action. Ask yourself, what's really stopping me? Write it down. Often, just naming the fear diminishes its power. Find your why. One of the biggest reasons people struggle with laziness is that they lack a compelling reason to take action. If a task feels meaningless, you're naturally going to procrastinate. However, when you connect your actions to a deeper purpose, motivation becomes much easier to sustain. In his book, Start With Why, Simon Sinek explains that successful individuals and companies don't just focus on what they do or how they do it. They focus on why they do it. This applies to personal goals as well. When your efforts are tied to something meaningful, laziness fades away because your purpose gives you the fuel to push forward. For example, a student who studies just to pass exams may struggle with motivation. But if they connect studying to their dream of building a great career and helping their family, they'll be more driven. Someone who wants to lose weight might fail if their only goal is looking good. But if they realize that being healthy will allow them to live longer and spend more time with loved ones, they're more likely to stay committed. Start small. The power of microhabits. Think of ambition as a mountain. Climbing it feels impossible if you're staring at the peak. But if you focus on the next step, the journey becomes manageable. James Clear's Atomic Habits teaches us that habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Tiny changes, repeated consistently, lead to massive results over time. If you want to run a marathon, start by putting on your running shoes and walking around the block. Celebrate that win. Tomorrow, jog for a minute. The key is to make the habit so easy you can't say no. To motivate yourself, use the paperclip strategy. Every time you complete a small task, move a paperclip from one jar to another. Visual progress is incredibly motivating. Use the "do it for 5 minutes" trick. If you dread a task, commit to doing it for just 5 minutes. Often, getting started is the hardest part, but once you're in motion, you'll likely keep going. Use the 5-second rule. You are never going to feel like it. Get moving. Mel Robbins, the 5-second rule. When you feel the urge to procrastinate, count down from 5 and take action. This interrupts your brain's default mode of delay and forces you to act. For example, you're lying in bed, hitting snooze. Count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and get up. The rule works because it bypasses overthinking. Create accountability. People play differently when they are keeping score. The 4 disciplines of execution. One of the biggest reasons people struggle with laziness is that they only answer to themselves. When no one else is watching, it's easy to skip a workout, delay a project, or waste time scrolling on your phone. However, when someone is holding you accountable, the pressure to follow through increases significantly. Accountability means having a system or person in place to track your progress, encourage consistency, and call you out when you slip. Humans are wired to care about what others think. When you share your goals with someone, you're more likely to follow through because you don't want to let them down or embarrass yourself. Studies show that when people share their goals and have someone checking in on them, they are significantly more likely to follow through. For example, if you decide to wake up early but no one knows about it, it's easy to hit snooze. But if you commit to a morning run with a friend, skipping it feels like letting them down. This social pressure makes you more likely to take action. Visualize your future self. Darren Hardy's The Compound Effect teaches that small, consistent actions compound over time. Visualize where you want to be in 5 or 10 years. Let that vision motivate you to take action today. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, picture yourself running a thriving business. What steps can you take today to move closer to that vision? Create a vision board with images and quotes that represent your goals. Place it somewhere you'll see it daily. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Together, we'll become better.